Hey everyone, and welcome. Let's be honest, as a homeowner, there are few things that cause instant panic, quite like your air conditioning or heat suddenly dying. So today, we're going to give you the ultimate handbook to turn that oh no moment into a clear, confident plan of action.
So let's start right there in that moment of dread. When the air in your house just feels wrong. We're going to walk you through how to go from that initial annoyance to taking smart, quick action to get your comfort back.
Just picture it. It's one of those brutal summer afternoons. The heat is just relentless. And then, nothing. The familiar hum from your AC is just gone. It's the moment every single homeowner fears, and it's exactly what we're here to get you ready for.
Your system almost never just dies out of the blue. It sends out distress signals first. So is your AC blowing lukewarm air when it should be ice cold? Are you hearing some kind of new, scary rattling noise? Maybe the airflow from your vents feels super weak. A blank thermostat is a huge red flag. And a sudden jump in your energy bill? Well, that's basically your HVAC system screaming for help. Okay, so seeing the symptom is step one. But now we've got to put on our detective hats and decode these signals, because understanding the why, the actual cause of the failure, is everything. So let's dig into what's really going on inside that machine.
One of the most common, and frankly one of the wildest things you can see, is a frozen evaporator coil. I mean, it literally looks like your indoor unit has been flash frozen in a block of ice. Just think of this coil as your system's lungs. When it freezes solid like this, it's completely choked off. It can't breathe, and your cooling grinds to a halt.
And here's the crazy part. This terrifying-looking problem usually has a ridiculously simple cause. The number one culprit, 9 times out of 10, is just a dirty, clogged air filter. See, if the coil can't breathe in enough warm air from your house, it gets way too cold, and bam, it ices over. It is, without a doubt, the most common and, thankfully, the most preventable issue out there.
Of course, it's not always the filter. That brutal summer heat can literally work your compressor to death. Sometimes the ground itself shifts, pulling your ductwork apart and causing massive leaks. And even just normal vibrations can eventually cause tiny refrigerant leaks that slowly drain away all your cooling power.
So when you're facing one of these big problems, it brings you to the single most important decision you have to make as a homeowner. Do you pay for the repair, or is it finally time to replace the entire system? This is the big money question we all have to answer eventually.
Look, the choice usually breaks down like this. Repairing is, of course, cheaper right now, and if your system is only a few years old and has a small issue, that's often the right move. But if you have an older, inefficient unit that's already given you trouble, well, replacement is a bigger hit to the wallet up front, but it can save you an absolute fortune in the long run on energy bills and, more repair calls.
So how do you make that call without just taking a wild guess? Well, there's a handy little guideline the pros use called the $5,000 rule. It's just a piece of simple math that helps cut through all the noise and lets you make a really smart financial decision.
And here's how easy it is. You just take the age of your unit in years. Let's say it's 12 years old. Then you multiply that by the estimated cost of the repair. Let's say it's $500. So 12 times 500 is $6,000. Since $6,000 is bigger than $5,000, the rule says replacement is probably the smarter bet. See? Simple.
Okay, so you've decided you need a pro. I get it. Making that call can be a little stressful. So let's pull back the curtain on exactly what should happen next. Knowing the process is the key to staying in control.
Look, any company worth its salt should follow a really clear 3-step process. First, you contact them. They dispatch a technician. Second, and this part is absolutely crucial, the tech diagnoses the problem and gives you a clear upfront price before they do a single thing. And finally, once you give them the okay, they do the repair and test the whole system to make sure it's running perfectly. It should always be that transparent. The bottom line is this. You should never, ever feel pressured or like you're in the dark. A true professional gives you an honest assessment, tells you the full cost before they even pick up a tool, and then they stand behind their work. That's the standard, period.
All right, let's wrap this up with a quick little cheat sheet. These are the simple, super powerful rules you can follow to keep your system healthy and hopefully prevent most of these headaches from ever happening. First up, the 2-foot rule. That big unit outside, it needs to breathe. Its job is to dump all the heat from your house out into the atmosphere. So you have to give it space, at least 2 feet of clear space all the way around it. Go trim back those bushes, clear out the leaves, let it breathe.
Next, the 3-minute rule. This one is a total lifesaver for your compressor. If your power flickers off or if you have to turn the system off, always wait at least 3 minutes before you turn it back on. This lets the pressure inside equalize, and it protects the most expensive part of your AC from getting seriously damaged.
And finally, we've come to the most important rule of all. I really can't say this enough. Change your air filter. A clogged filter is the villain behind almost everything that goes wrong. Frozen coils, overworked motors, insane energy bills. It is the single best, easiest, and cheapest thing you can possibly do for your system.
So there you have it. You know the warning signs to look for, you know how to tackle that big repair or replace decision, and you've got the simple rules for prevention. You're no longer in the dark. So the only question left is your system set up to win? The next time you walk by that thermostat, you'll know exactly what to do. Thanks for watching.